Hey everybody, we're back in the kitchen today. And once again, no, we're not cooking, but I just recently shared how I decided to go on and paint the area of our walls that was left unpainted because our countertops were removed and we had new ones installed. Now, if you're one of our regular YouTube family members, please bear with me because some things I'm getting ready to say will be repetitive, and I have to do that because you have to remember that for some people it is their first time ever clicking on one of my videos and they don't know what's going on. Okay, so we're going to bring them up to speed. We are currently in the middle of a kitchen renovation, and my husband and I were just trying to do things slowly but surely because we didn't want to finance a kitchen renovation. Okay, so having said that, we're just doing it a step at a time. We'll pay for this and have this done, save a little bit more money, then we'll pay for something else and have something else done. Okay, so when we had our kitchen countertops removed, we had our laminate countertops removed, there was a backsplash that came up to here. Once that was removed, well, actually what happened was I ended up having painting done before my countertops were removed. So when the painter was here, he painted all the way down to the top of the backsplash. Well, I ended up getting countertops when I hadn't planned to do so. Okay, we had a whole build out of our island, and once we did that, my husband was like, no, we're not waiting on countertops. We're going to do that now. I will include a playlist of my renovations that we've been doing. That way, if you're interested, it'll kind of bring you up to speed as to what's going on. So, I said all that to say, when he insisted on getting our countertops done, when they came in and took the old countertops out, it pulled up, they took off the backsplash, it damaged, not too bad, but some of the drywall ended up tearing, and of course you could see where the new paint stopped and where this part had not been painted. Okay, I recently decided that I'm gonna go on and paint this. I had used cutting boards to hide it, and I just decided that, you know what, a couple of days ago, we're gonna go on and paint this because I'm sick of looking at all of those cutting boards. Now, what has happened in that process is it's really caused me to think about where I am mentally, where we are in this process, and just doing that little bit of painting, because what I had said was I'm not going to do that because we still have to get tile. I still need my cabinets painted. We still need new appliances. The appliances are 20 years old. So I found myself frustrated and just kind of in that mode of not wanting to do certain things because I want it all done at one time. Like, I've not decorated my kitchen and tried to make it look or feel like home because there's so many other things that we still need to do. I'm frustrated with the stove. You guys can see, how it looks here. There's nothing I can do about that. It aggravates me in my videos. Even here, my smooth cooktop, it looks like it's not clean, but I promise you it is, and it just looks ashy and worn, and it's just aggravating. Okay, but I know we're not getting ready to get new appliances. We probably will not be doing that, or maybe considering, until towards the end of this year. Now, that's unless something changes, but as of right now, my thought process is we can't even consider spending thousands of dollars on appliances until maybe later this year, the latter part. maybe Merry Christmas or Christmas Eve. But no time soon, not Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. Right now, we just don't plan on doing that anytime soon because it's not in the budget right now because we have other things that we still need to do. Okay? Now remember, we're trying. We don't want to charge appliances. We don't want to create any new debt. Okay. So, I'm getting ready. I've decided that, you know what? I'm getting ready to make my kitchen look like somebody lives here. Because what I realized is that my kitchen looks like contractors are coming back tomorrow. You know what I mean? And that's because I've decided I'm not decorating, I'm not pulling anything out, I'm not decorating the countertops, I'm not doing any of that because my kitchen isn't complete yet. I need tile and painted cabinets and appliances. But what I realized is that it's affecting my overall excitement about the renovations that we've done. I'm just, stuff is still discombobulated, and I have to stop. I have to stop the madness, okay? I'm going to explain even the more exactly where I am as I'm pulling some things out to at least somewhat decorate my countertops, okay? Now, I have this stuff sitting out because this is a perfect example of several things. All of these things I have received over the years, some more recent than others, from our YouTube family members that I've not used. I've had these electric salt and pepper grinders for definitely at least a couple of years, if not longer, that were sent to us because I'm saying, you know what, I'm gonna wait until I get my kitchen together and then I'm gonna pull it out. You guys have seen this. This was sent to us by a sweet little mother. This was at our home away from home. So I've used this, and I still have the letter that was written to us. I put it in the back so I can, always have that. This butter dish that I've received, I cannot wait to use it. Most recently, my candle and lamp warmer. These 2 trays. You guys, these are things that were sent to us by some of you. Most recently, my beautiful orchid. For those of you that may not know, December 18th, I lost one of my best friends, my sister. And this was given to me because purple was her favorite color. So I said all that to say I'm kind of finding myself in a rut, okay? And I'm trying not to get stuck. I'm trying my best. To keep moving and not get stuck in grief and grieving like I did and like I was when my mom passed away unexpectedly 10 years ago, okay? So my husband talks about how, and you guys, please bear with me because this is real life. And this is my life right now. So I'm just trying to push through, okay? So what I've decided to do today was, you know what? My husband talks about me having several windows open, and he describes it as, because I literally do this. I'm sitting in front of my computer and I'll open a window and go to a site, and instead of me closing that window out, I'll open another window. And then I'm somewhere else and I'll open another window and I'm somewhere else. And sometimes I can have 15, 20, 30 windows open on my computer at any given moment. So I decided, yes, I need to get outside and stain the fence. Today is a beautiful day, but you know what, now that I'm looking, it is a little windy. But I decided, you know what, my husband is correct. I'm getting ready to close some of the windows that I have open inside of our home, okay? I think next week we're going to have several beautiful days of nice weather. I'll get to staining the fence, but right now we're getting ready to close some windows in the house, okay? I hadn't planned on talking to you guys this long. So what I'm getting ready to do is, as I'm pulling things and to decorate my countertops and make it look like somebody lives here and we're still not in the middle of a construction zone, I'm getting ready to start pulling some of this stuff out and putting it on my countertops. Now, granted, this is temporary because I know once I get tile and stuff, it's going to change. But at least it will make me feel like my kitchen is more put together. When you walk in our home, this is one of the first spaces that you see. And I'm just so tired of it looking incomplete, okay? So, real quick, because I cannot get my stove to look like I want it to look, because I need a new one, I'm going to improvise. These are placemats, and I just want to explain to you what you're going to see. When I decorate, you're going to see these laying on top of my stove to kind of help camouflage that. Yes, I know I can get one of those boards that'll just cover it up, but, you know, we're going to get a new stove sometime, prayerfully this year. I just don't feel like that's what I want to spend money on doing right now, okay? Speaking of spending money, I'm pulling stuff that I have around the house to decorate my countertops. The only thing that I have recently gotten, probably been a few weeks now, is these runners, because I need something on the floor. I'm used to having a big old rug in here. For those of you that know, as part of our renovations, we got LVP floors put down in on the lower level, and we're not used to not having carpet on the floor, and I'm used to having a big old piece of rug or area rug in my kitchen. I hadn't gotten anything yet, so these were on clearance for $32 from Marshalls. So it comes in a pack of 2. They are washable decorative runners, 22 inches by 60 inches. So at some point I want one long runner for my kitchen, but in the meantime, this will do, because I am bad about coming in here with nothing on my feet, just bare feet. And my husband is saying, baby, put something on your feet. Get your bedroom shoes on, and he'll kick his off. And so I'm gonna put that down. Is that it? I think that's it, you guys. So I'm excited to, put some of this stuff out from our YouTube family members. And like I said, this is gonna change, but because there's still so much more we need to do in here, but it needs to look more finished. Now, one thing I do know, because I don't want a lot of big appliances on. For example, I don't want that, what that thing is, that air fryer. Honey, I'm sick of looking at it. I don't want it sitting up on my counter anymore. So I had to clear out one of my cabinets. Actually, the only thing I did was took my set of pots out, my caraway set, and it actually comes with dividers, because you can also put those on your countertop. Right now, it's not the ideal thing, but I'm going to just let you know, I'm going to put the pots on my countertop. It will work for right now, because I don't want to look at that big, bulky air fryer sitting on my counter. Okay? So I just wanted to give you a heads up for those of you that may be like, Miss Donna, what? That's why. I think that's it, you guys. So we'll talk a little bit more. While I'm decorating, I will talk a little bit more and share more of my thought process with you all. Um, and we're gonna get this done so I can get some of these windows closed and hopefully feel a little bit better when I walk in my kitchen. Okay. So I think I don't think I'm going to, after I show you everything that I've done, give you a before and after. I don't think I'm going to come back. I think I'll just go on and close the video. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm going to do what's called a voiceover. So while I'm getting things together, it's like a separate recording that I'll be doing where I'll be talking to you guys about my thought process. For some of you that may not know, because I know we have some elderly family members too. Some of our seniors, they don't know what all this terminology means. So I wanted to explain what a voiceover means. So that's just going to be a separate recording that I will have playing while I am decorating my countertops and doing what I do. Okay, listen, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you get some ideas out of what I share, and then even some of the things that I say prayerfully is something that you will take into consideration as well. I remember when I first started my channel, my theme was start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So what I've realized is that I need to go back to the basics and take some of my own advice, okay? Because tomorrow is not promised, right? All right, so listen, thank you all so much for watching. I already look forward to you joining me or maybe us again next time. Bye. Enjoy the video. So I wanted to start by thoroughly wiping down my quartz countertops, and I just used a little bit of Dawn Power Wash spray and took a very hot dishcloth and just wiped them down to get them clean. Now when we had our countertops cut and installed, I asked the installer if he would have enough quartz left where he can cut me a large piece that I could just have sitting on my countertop, and he did. I know a lot of people, sometimes they'll get like the smaller pieces of quartz or marble, but I really wanted a larger piece, and that's what I just set my mixer on. But you guys keep in mind, this entire setup really is temporary. Now I'm putting down this little mainstay. I think it's the brand Coffee Maker. You can do pods, you can do ground coffee, but I've had this for so many years, and I think it was about $30. And I got it from Walmart. And I get tickled because I said I'm probably one of the few people that do not have a little Keurig machine, but it has worked great. And at some point I will upgrade some of my little smaller kitchen appliances as I continue to do my kitchen. Now this is the area, you guys, where I mentioned I'm going to have to put my pots on my countertop because I use the countertop space. No, I use the cabinet space. It was to the left side of the stove, the lower of the cabinet. That's where I had my pots. But I do not want to look at the big bulky air fryer. And right now that's like the only place that I could easily put it. So that's what I decided to do. I just showed you the little magnetic dividers that came with my pots, and it allows me just to put the pots in between. And you guys, I was kind of skeptical about sitting them on my counter, but after I did it, y'all, I like it. I mean, I think it looks really good. Now granted, it probably won't stay here because when I was doing my kitchen design, my thought process was this end right here would be the area where I did like a little, my little coffee station. And thus one of the reasons why I had my little mini fridge put directly up under this counter space. So I don't know, I'll just have to kind of see, exactly what I end up doing. But in any event, listen, I wanted to share just briefly
elaborate a little bit more on my thought process and me just deciding to go on and just start where I am and just decorate my kitchen. I mentioned that I kind of felt myself getting in a rut, and coming in and out my space, our home just still felt so incomplete because we are still in the middle of renovations. Although I've taken a little break because I just needed a break from contractors, but I'm so glad I just decided to do it. And like my husband has said, baby, just close some of these windows. And I'm waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity. And I just had to be reminded that life is so short. And when I lost my mom unexpectedly, I realized how, you know, things can happen, especially that you don't plan for. And you're waiting on that perfect time and that perfect space and that perfect place. And I was reminded of how short life is once again when my best friend passed in December. And I'm sitting here, our home is incomplete. We have no furniture in the dining room still because, we decided we wanted to give it away and be a blessing to my sister and her family. And it's okay, so I'm doing what I can. And I'm so glad I made the decision to just do something to the kitchen area so it will look and feel more like home. And when I tell you it has made me feel so much better, I'm just so glad that I decided to go on and do it. And although my dining room is still empty, it's okay. I'll get to a dining room table and more furniture whenever we get there. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy today. And as the Bible tells us, I'm not going to take any thought for tomorrow. And I'm just going to enjoy today and complete this space as much as I can. And then we'll figure out the rest of it later. And once I decided to do this, it certainly made me feel better. My husband was excited when he came in and just saw, what I had done. And I just want to encourage some of you that if you're waiting on that perfect time, that perfect moment, just start where you are. Use what you can. Do what you can and use what you have. Okay, so hopefully that, will just encourage some of you, because when I tell you I feel better, I do. And we'll just figure out the rest another day.
You guys, I wanted to stop because there are a couple of things that I needed to share. First of all, for those of you that were here when my husband put up my new kitchen light, if you remember, I was having some issues because it came with a remote control and we could not get the light to work. Wayfair sent out another remote, and it was indeed the remote. So I just wanted to update you guys to let you know that it is working. So I'm using the remote. It's on. Now it's off. I'm going to turn on the fan. Let me see if you can see that better with the, I was going to try to turn the light off. I think you can see it better with it on. But in any event, just wanted to report that it is working. So thank you to our YouTube family member that wanted an update about the light because it reminded me that I had not shared. Okay, now this piece of art that I'm getting ready to hang in my kitchen, although the kitchen is not done, is so special and sentimental to me. If you follow me and you recently saw the renovations of my dad's church, I shared two pieces of art that were painted by my grandfather. My grandfather was an artist. He did oil paintings. They were absolutely magnificent. He was so talented, and he actually has paintings throughout Winston-Salem. He has paintings in different states and cities in the world. So I am just so proud to be his granddaughter. And I have a painting here that I have carried around with me as long as I can remember, definitely over 25 years, because I've been married 25 years and I had it with me before then. I've tried to keep it safe and protected. But this is a painting that was done by my grandfather. Oh my goodness. It may have even been before I was born. I don't know. His signature is at the bottom, as with all of his paintings. And you can see some areas where the oil paint has lifted. Like I said, it's extremely old. And I am just elated to be able to hang this. If you look close, right here is an area where it could use some touching up. I don't trust anybody enough to take it somewhere to have it touched up. If you're looking at it from a distance, you really cannot tell. And I just want it in its as close to its original state that I can possibly have it. But I have waited so long, and it's like I've waited and I've wasted so many years of just being able to enjoy looking at this. I've wasted so many years waiting on that perfect kitchen, or the perfect time, or waiting on everything to be completely done and just perfect. And I've missed so many years of being able to just walk through my kitchen or dining room and just be reminded of what an amazing artist that my grandfather was. So I've decided that I'm not waiting any longer. Although this area over here, I eventually want some shelves. At least that's what I'm thinking. I thought about doing one shelf and then putting this above it. But in the meantime, I'm hanging it today. I'm hanging it today. It doesn't matter whether or not it matches anything that's going on in my kitchen now or after I get my cabinets painted. It doesn't matter. I want to hang this and I want to enjoy it. And that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do. If by chance you've not seen the videos where we did the renovations of my dad's church, I will link those as well. That way you can actually see some of my grandfather's work.
So today I've decided that although our kitchen renovation is still incomplete, I want tile, I want to get my cabinets painted, and I definitely want and need new appliances. I'm not going to worry about those things that I have not done or we do not have, but I'm going to live in this moment and enjoy my incomplete kitchen and the state that it's in today. Hopefully, I've encouraged some of you to do the same in whatever situation you may be in that reminds you of you need to live in the moment, because tomorrow is not promised.